Welcome to another Demarcation Media Mega Construx review. Today we are going to be doing a comparison, but instead of comparing some new articulation figures, I wanted to take a look at an old articulation figure versus its newer counterpart. I'm really not big into the old articulation figures. The posing just isn't there for me. Obviously, they have more limited posing than the new guys. The new guys have way more joints. They have swappable armor, and the old guys just don't really have that. However, there are a few old articulation figures that I have that I do like, and then there's actually a couple that I want to get, primarily some of the CQBs. But today, I wanted to take a look at a Arctic Pilot and compare it with the newer Arctic Pilot. Now, I believe both of these guys came from Blind Bag series. I think this guy was Delta series. I could be wrong. I honestly have no clue where this guy came from. Older Halo Mega Bloks fans, people who have been in the community for longer than I have, maybe you guys can tell me in the comments. But without any further ado, let's jump in and give these guys a close look. I think I got this guy in a random lot or something a while back. I really honestly have no clue. It's not a figure that I would have gotten purposefully. I will say that much. But looking at it, it's actually kind of impressive purely because of how much detail there is. So the first thing I noticed was the lower legs are Spartan lower legs. It looks like maybe like the Mark IV Spartans, but it's painted up, and the amount of paint work on here is insane. I think the base color for the most part is black. So like torso, arms, legs, I think the base color is black, whereas with a lot of the newer figures, they will do just the base color, and we'll see that in a little bit. But I think the waist unit is all white, and then the head is white, and you can actually see there's a difference in the color there. I think that's mainly because one is plastic and one is painted, but also the head, being the softer plastic, just kind of ages a little bit more. But the thing that really makes this figure work to me, well, I guess it's two things. First of all, the visor. That visor is beautiful. It's sharp, it's clean, it has very nice coverage all around. It just looks really good. And then the wash over the white. It makes the white look better and not so toyish. And it just, I don't know, something about this figure is kind of charming to me. Also, the pilots are just kind of goofy. I mean, look at that. They literally have a mustache. If Mario and Luigi were in the Halo universe, they would be pilots like this. We need a red one and a green one. That would be Mario and Luigi. Another interesting thing is inside of the arms are painted up. Oh wow, I didn't even notice that. The inside of the arms here too are painted up. That's really nice. Inside of the legs. And if you don't know old articulation figures, you can see we get little posing. The head has great posing. We have a little bit of a waist swivel in kind of two spots, and then just the legs move like normal. But yeah, honestly, it's a really charming figure, and it looks good. And the only thing that really shows that it's outdated is the articulation. Next up, we have the newer guy. This dude is not as detailed at first glance, but partially that's due to the fact that there's removable armor pieces. So the thighs here are molded in tan, and then we have black ODST leg armors. We have ODST lower legs that are molded in white, but then have the black kind of shoe print. A little bit of white painted on the groin area to kind of match the waist unit. A little bit of black on the ODST chest plate. And then we have some paint work on the inner arms, which is cool and kind of interesting because this was a blind bag figure as far as I remember. The head is done pretty well. Visor's all right. Not too bad. The mustache is definitely there. And then you can see around here, it's all just white. So the interesting thing about this guy is when he comes in the blind bag, he comes with a Spartan torso, and Spartan torsos do not fit with ODST chest plates. It stretches them out. So I actually swapped a Marine torso onto this guy because it was going to break the chest plate. But the interesting thing then is that it was loose, so it actually had to be like stuck on. I think I put a little bit of sticky tack under there. But yeah, it's a really cool figure, but it's missing something, and we'll talk about that in a minute. What I do like is kind of the cookies and cream looking flex in the white. I think that's interesting, and I think that makes him stand out a little bit more and kind of makes him look less toyish, and that's always what we want here. I do feel like a visor outline or something could have helped here. I don't know why. Something about this makes me kind of want a visor outline. So now getting them side by side again, you can kind of see the differences. The head is actually smaller on the new guy, which is kind of funny. The visor, I would say on the old one looks better, and the wash on the old guy makes him stand out so well. But the new guy does have the plus of better articulation, and also I would say that the footprint on him looks better too. It's a little bit more sharp and clean, and also this is not really a knock against either figure, but you can see that the tan on the newer one is more of a white tan, and then tan on the old one is kind of a green tan. But I would say that honestly, if they had taken the wash from this guy and put it on this guy would be perfect. But as it is, they're both fantastic figures. It's just interesting to see how Mega changed things. Obviously, this guy wins in terms of articulation because I can lift his arm up to here. This guy can go to there, and that's about that. But it's interesting to see the differences between the two. It's interesting to see that Mega has kind of stopped doing washes as much. I think there's honestly only one figure that I can think of in recent years that had a true wash, and I'll show him in a minute. But yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say one is better than the other. This guy has more charm, I would say, and he has a little bit more detail. This guy has the more realistic look and also the far superior articulation. Well, there you have it. That is the two Arctic pilots, 2 generations of Mega figures. And before we end off, I just wanted to drop in that figure that I was talking about with the wash. This guy, if the newer Arctic pilot had the wash that this guy had, it would be absolutely fantastic and perfect. I don't know why Mega doesn't do this more. I don't know what it costs to put that wash on, but it's really good. And also it helps cover up things like this guy's actually a little bit yellowed, but because he's got the wash on there, it doesn't actually look too bad, and I can leave it as is. I do know a way to fix yellowing. However, I don't know what it would do to the wash, so I'm just letting it ride because it just looks more like wash. But yeah, it looks really good. I really love wash like this, and I wish that they had done that for this dude here. I think it would have improved him a lot. So now what I want to know is, do you prefer the older style figures or the newer style figures? Because I know that there's both types of fans out there in this community. Some of you guys prefer the older figures. Some of you guys prefer the newer figures. And I gotta say, the older guys are growing on me a little bit. They don't give the gritty scenes that you can get with the newer guys posing wise, but they're kind of funny, and they're kind of a little derpy, and they're kind of fun to play around with. I don't know why, but they are just kind of fun to play around with. You can't get any two-handed weapon poses, but I would say that their goofy look is kind of serves that limitation. This guy came with a Magnum, so he didn't have to worry about that. But yeah, which one do you prefer, and which one of these 2 figures specifically do you prefer? Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.